Today's lesson we are going to be reviewing area of a rectangle or square, and we are going to be doing this using fractional sides. So I do call this a review because you have learned area in the past. And then also now we're adding in fractional sides, which is something that you did for your show what you know from last week in math. Alright, so let's review what area is. So remember that the formula for area is length times width. That's what that L and W means. So that means L is for the length, or how long the object is, and width stands, or W stands for the width, which is how wide the object is. Really, these two measurements are interchangeable, which means it doesn't really matter which one is the length and which one is the width, because you're both multiplying them together. And if you know from the associative property, which we learned a couple weeks ago, when you have two numbers that are multiplied together, it doesn't matter what order they are in, you are always going to get the same answer. So if we're looking at this square here, I'm sorry, not square, a rectangle, we know that the length is 5. I don't know what the measurement is. I'm just going to assume inches. We know that the length is 5 inches and the width is 3 inches. So looking at my formula for area here, I know that the area will equal the length times the width, which means the area of this rectangle will be 15 inches. Pretty simple. Alright, so pause the video really quickly. Try to figure this one out on your own. Hopefully it will be a piece of cake for you. And then replay the video to see if you solved it correctly. Alright, so hopefully you pause the video and you see that our area for, you know that our formula for area of a rectangle is length times width. So I know that my length is 9 and my width is 4. So 9 times 4 will give me my area, and I know that 9 times 4 is 36. So the area of this rectangle is 36 something. I'm going to assume inches. Alright, so we're looking here at the area of a rectangle. Now, this one is done a little bit in reverse. I want you to pause the video for a second, see if you can try to problem solve what this question is asking you. See if you can solve it, and then replay the video and check your answer, okay? Alright, so I'm looking at my rectangle here, and so here is my rectangle right here. And I know that it's giving me a measurement of 5 centimeters as the width. That's what I'm going to call this. And it's giving me an area of 55 centimeters cubed. Now, if it's giving me the area and the width, how can I solve to find this missing one? Well, if I look back at my formula right here, what is missing is the length. So if I take my area and I plug that in, 55, and I say that equals the length, which is missing, times 5, basically I have to figure out what times 5 will give me 55. I could also say 55 divided by 5 equals what I'm looking for. Either way, 55 divided by 5, or 5 times something equals 55, is 11. So I know that this missing measurement right here equals 11 centimeters. Did you get that one right? Good for you. Alright, so for our last problem for the video today, we're going to be figuring out a missing digit. And so our missing digit is right here. And first what we're going to do is we're going to use our area model right here to try to look to see if we can figure it out. And then we will also try to figure it out by looking at the fractional pieces that we have here. So here is our square, and we're trying to find the area. And so we know area equals length times width. And so I'm going to plug this in here. I'm going to assume that 6/7 is our length. If I'm looking at my fraction, or I'm looking at my square right here, I can see that the length would be this way right here. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 7 blocks here, but I don't have all of them. So I know that there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 out of the 7. So I'm going to assume that this is my length, and this is 6/7. Now, my width is where I find my missing digit. I know that the numerator is 5, so that's how many parts I have, but I don't know out of how many pieces it is. So I'm going to look here at my width, and I'm going to count to see how many out of all these squares do I have. How many pieces is it cut into? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of those 6. So my fraction here would be 5/6. Okay, and then I know that the area is 30, 40 seconds. Let's check our work to see if that actually makes sense. So let me multiply straight across to see if I can figure this out. 6 times 5 will give me 30. 7 times 6 will give me 42. So is 6 the correct digit here? Yes, it is. And I hope all of you out there caught this, that this fraction can be simplified. 30 over 42, this is a little bonus here. Both of these fractions can be divided by 2. 30 divided by 2 is 15, and 40 divided by 2 is 20. Great job! Alright, so go to show what you know by going to the quiz on Canvas, taking your notes, and making sure that you are simplifying any answer that you need to. Alright, good luck!